Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. My mission is to help wake up medicine and bring the intuitive aspects of health back in practical and tangible ways so you can access deeper healing. And if you haven't yet already, please like or subscribe. And I would love to hear from you. Comment and follow me on Instagram at All World Health, Facebook, All World Health and Pediatrics, or my website for e-love letters, allworldhealth.com. So every week I will sit down and meditate on what to talk about. And for some reason this week, the kidneys came up. And so I wanted to go through your kidneys and how to care for them in a multidimensional way. So I'll go through first your kidney basic functions, and then possible kidney issues, and then the care of your kidneys from the physical aspects to the mental emotional aspects to the spiritual aspects. So I want to expand your perspective of what health is and how you can access it. So my dad was a nephrologist, and that's a kidney specialist. And at one point in time, I had thought I was going to be a kidney specialist too, because the kidneys are so interesting. They're this kind of quiet organ we don't think about that much unless it causes issues. So the kidneys are named because of their shape, because they look like two kidney beans, and they're on either side of the spine, deep in your abdomen. And they are so important that you have two of them. So just in case one goes awry, then you have another to take over. And you could essentially live off of one kidney. So what the kidneys do are they filter the blood, and they send the excess metabolites and toxins out into the urine. So they'll produce the urine. But at the same time, they'll hold on to the nutrients, the sugar, necessary electrolytes, amino acids, and hormones that you don't want to send out in the urine. And your kidneys are very busy. They will filter about 200 liters of fluid every 24 hours. And they're doing this quietly without your conscious control. So it's a really amazing, the capacity of our body. Now, a lot of people don't know that your kidneys are also an endocrine organ, which means they produce and secrete hormones. And they actually produce several hormones. The first is renin, which helps to regulate blood pressure. The second is erythropoietin, which helps to stimulate the bone marrow to produce red blood cells. And the third is vitamin D. So it converts the inactive form of vitamin D, whether from the sun or from supplements that you're taking, and it converts them to the active form of vitamin D, which is calcitriol. So your kidneys are really important in so many different ways, and they work with all the other organ systems in your body. And so the point is to really make sure things are in rhythm and in tune with each other. So especially when, for example, that vitamin D production, your kidneys don't do it alone. Your skin takes in the vitamin D from the sunlight, produces the first form, and then your liver contributes to that, starts to activate it, but then the kidneys are the final step to really produce the final active form of vitamin D. So it's not about any one organ functioning on its own. It's really integrating them. They need to be in tune and in rhythm to feel balanced and whole. And so I talk about this all the time. So what happens if your kidneys are not working properly? Well, we'll think about the functions. They're supposed to filter the blood and remove toxins. They do this together with, the liver and the colon. So those are your major detox organs. So if your kidneys are not working properly, then you're going to have a buildup of excess toxins. And also you're not going to be producing urine, so you'll have a buildup of excess fluid. And you can see this as swelling, as high blood pressure. You could have fatigue, headaches, back pain. And because your kidneys are also an endocrine gland, then you could have problems of low vitamin D, weak bones. You might not be producing enough red blood cells. You could have anemia. And you could, again, you have high blood pressure because the renin is not being secreted properly. So, and with those toxins build up and things not filtering properly, you can also get urinary tract infections and kidney stones. So Probably everybody knows someone that or has had urinary tract infections, whether it's yourself or someone in your family or someone you love, or kidney stones. And so we're going to go through the ways you can care for your kidney and improve the health of your kidney. So we're going to go through the physical aspects and the mental, emotional aspects, and then the spiritual aspects of kidney health. So for the physical aspects, I'm going to break it down in the CARE acronym, which is from Edgar Cayce readings. Edgar Cayce was the most well-known and studied psychic of the 20th century, and he has over 30,000 readings. A lot of them were on health and medicine, and really a big proponent of like holistic health and integrating like whole body, mind, spirit, and health. So the CARE acronym, CARE, stands for circulation, assimilation, restoration, and elimination. So the first part, circulation. Now, your kidneys, just like everything else in your body, they need proper blood flow to and from. So you need the arteries to bring the nutrients, and again, they're filtering the blood, and then you need the veins to move toxins away. But the kidneys themselves also need that nourishment. So they're filtering the blood, but at the same time, they also need to be nourished by the blood, and they need the veins to remove the toxins from the kidneys themselves. So, what can help with your circulation? Simply movement. So getting some sort of movement in your day. Walking is great to just massage those abdominal organs. And again, the kidneys are deep in your abdomen. Rotating all your joints, so your hips, your knees, your ankles, your wrists, your spine, your neck. So any exercises that help to rotate the joints, to help move the body. They could be really gentle, walking, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, or any more high intensity exercise as well. And also osteopathic treatment or massage. So just helping to get the flow of the fluids going in the body. The next in that acronym is assimilation. So how can you help the kidneys in terms of like being properly nourished, but also being able to, because if they're not overloaded with toxins, they're able to like assimilate things better. Then you won't be overwhelming them. So the best thing is to keep an alkaline diet. And I did do another live stream on that before. And I also have a 2-page handout on the alkaline diet, which is really helpful. So if you maintain that alkaline diet, there will be less inflammation in the body. Your organs don't have to work as hard. And that alkaline diet also helps to maintain the gut flora. So probiotic foods can be included, whether apple cider vinegar or yogurt or kefir. And when you have adequate or balanced gut flora, it helps to maintain hormones and neurotransmitters. It also helps to break down excess oxalates. So oxalates are, when they build up in your body, then they can promote calcium oxalate stones, so kidney stones. And so those are the most common kind of kidney stones. And so often nephrologists will recommend to reduce oxalates in the diet. Beets, chocolate, spinach, rhubarb, and tea are the highest, and most nuts are highest in oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones. But it's not just that. It's if you're not maintaining an alkaline diet and getting a source of good probiotic foods and prebiotics to nourish and balance your gut flora, then your oxalate can also get out of balance. And then Edgar Cayce also says to chew your food well, but also to chew your water well. So when you chew your food, then it mixes with the saliva and helps to break it down. It helps it assimilate into the body in an easier way, and to actually be more alkaline as it combines with the saliva. And the same with the water. Like when you guzzle your water, it's harder for your body to assimilate it. And what you could also do is add just a little pinch of sea salt to the water. It doesn't have to be all your water, and not too much salt. It should taste better like mineral water. And I find that also helps to your body to assimilate the water. And I also tell people to drink the best quality water that you can. So I like to have Lipsy water, which is an alkaline water, and it's a spring water delivered in glass. And those more natural forms of water are also better assimilated, but you can add a pinch of sea salt to it. You can have filtered water, and you can also just tune the energy of your water. And I talked about this before, in a water live stream, and also in connecting with nature, how you could just hold your water and bless it in a way and just think loving thoughts, and the water holds on to those messages so easily. And so when you do that, I find the water is more nourishing. So again, it's like easier to assimilate. You can also, first thing in the morning, just to help your body stay more alkaline, is to add a squeeze, like half a lemon, into your water. You could also do that with a splash or a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And Edgar Casey also commonly says to add a lemon to orange juice or other citrus drinks to help alkalinize the body. So you could take a cup of orange juice and add a whole lemon to that, and actually helps it taste better as well. And this can help to reduce the risk of kidney stones, as well as to alkalinize the body. If you do that first thing in the morning, do that at least like 30 minutes or an hour before breakfast, especially if you have any grains, oatmeal, or citrus, because citrus does not combine well with cereals or other grains. So that's something important to know, and that's part of the alkaline diet. So slow eating, chew your food well, chew your water, meaning sip it slowly. And if you're acutely ill, like if you're not feeling well, if you have a urinary tract infection or are recovering from any kidney issues, then it's important to be very gentle with your diet. So to have more cooked foods than not, because it'll just be a little bit easier for your body to break down those foods, especially when you don't have as much energy. And not to have as many animal products in your food as well, to let the kidneys rest some, because remember, the food you eat, your intestines break it down, and then it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. But then all the waste from there, it will go either through your colon, so moving through the digestive tract, or your kidneys. So if your body's already overwhelmed fighting off illness, then it can be difficult and more overwhelming for your detox organs to filter and remove toxins on top of that. Spending a lot of time on the physical. So we've got a couple more. Restoration. So the CARE acronym, CARE. So you had circulation, assimilation. Now we're on restoration, and then elimination. So restoration is very simple: to get enough sleep and rest. Getting enough rest really affects your kidneys. Your kidneys are also very sensitive to your nervous system, including your sympathetics, fight or flight response. So just above each kidney are the adrenal glands, which produce many hormones, including your stress hormones. They sit like little caps on either kidney. And the adrenal medulla is highly innervated by the sympathetic nervous system. So it's right there on top of the kidney. So if you're feeling really stressed, and just stressed from lack of sleep, then your kidney function can be affected by that. It's not something that you'll notice right away, but I like to talk more about the subtleties of health, because this is much more preventative, versus like waiting years, decades down the road, and then your kidneys aren't doing well and you're wondering why. It's a lot harder to get out of that than to take care of yourself and maintain the health to begin with. So, so to restore, to get enough rest, and if you've had any injury or illness, to get more extra rest if you need to listen to your body. And we were talking about water before, but that's also part of like restoring the kidney function. So to get enough water, about 6 to 8 glasses per day per the Edgar Casey readings, but it really depends on what you need. So if you're getting more exercise, you're a really hot environment, if you're losing water, then you want to restore that. And I usually just tell people just to watch their urine and to make sure it runs about like pale straw yellow, not like deep yellow. If you're taking B vitamins or other things, that it can be like a bright yellow from the vitamins. But if you're not taking those, then you should be able to see the natural color of your urine. So, and the last part of the physical is that elimination. So, needing to clear those detox pathways, not just the kidneys, but the colon as well. Again, all these abdominal organs need to function together. And you can massage those organs with the walking. That can help with your elimination. And if your colon is backed up, then that's also going to put some pressure on the kidneys. And so they need to function together. Your kidneys and liver are also related. Again, they're all these detox organs. So if one is overwhelmed, then it will throw the balance off, and the other organs will try to help to take over some of that overwhelm. And your kidneys' secondary detox organ will be the lungs. So if your kidneys are not functioning well, then often we will start to see illness in the lungs. So anything that we're talking about that applies to the kidneys, if you have any lung issues, asthma, COVID, pneumonia, bronchitis, then don't forget to think about your kidneys as well, because they are going to go hand in hand, and it's about integrating the functions of the body. So, and then to help with those elimination, again, not too much sugar, not too much salt, not too much meat. Prevention is key. Don't overwhelm your detox organs. Another thing you can do to help your kidneys detox, and I talked about this in other live streams, is to do a castor oil abdominal pack. So you could do a liver pack, but you could also take the castor oil, put it on 2 to 4 layers of wool flannel or cotton flannel that hasn't been bleached, and put that all in your abdomen. I'm going to do a whole other live stream on castor oil packs, so you have more information on that. But you can just put a heat source on top, wrap it with a towel so that the castor oil is not too messy and getting on the heat source, heating pad or hot water bottle, and leave it on for, say, 45 minutes or so. And it will just depend on each person what they need. And I've done this so many times, and can really be helpful in just clearing your colon, your liver, your kidneys, and helping them out. So we're going to keep going here. We're going to move on to the mental, emotional aspects of kidney health. And again, I was talking about how the kidneys are so influenced by stress. So it's that fight or flight response from your sympathetic nervous system. And it can, again, the adrenals sit right on top of that. So when you're in this fight or flight state and you just feel like you're like over responding to the world, like everything is a big deal. So, everything looks like a fire. You could see like a little candle and it feels like a fire. So metaphorically, that's how you could be going through life. So it's really important to kind of shift that mindset towards more constructive thinking and helpfulness. And it's not about bypassing or ignoring the stress or anxiety or how you feel, but you can use any stress or anxiety as like this red flag or a part of your compass of telling you what needs tending to or where the health is. So when you're feeling stressed or anxious, then you can tell yourself, oh, okay, what can I do to be kinder to myself? What can I do to take better care of myself? Maybe it's just getting more sleep or getting a drink of water. What can I do to even be helpful for someone else? Because in helping others, we also help ourselves. But you have to help yourself first. So mentally, emotionally, the kidneys represent fear and grief. And so anytime you have that in your life, then your kidneys are going to be affected, especially if you're having difficulty processing the fear and grief. And in this age with the pandemic, I see so much fear, so much grief. So many people have crossed over, and there's so much fear of illness, fear of not getting what you want out of life, fear of the future, fear of the unexpected, and grieving how life used to be, grieving all the changes, grieving changes in jobs, people crossing over. So it's not about liking feeling discomfort, but it's about loving yourself enough to be okay to feel that discomfort so that you can process it. And many times I find that when there are these unprocessed emotions, I can feel them in the body and in the kidneys. You'll feel like this fright. And for people that are like really good at putting a cover over it, you may never know. They may look completely normal and happy, and you wouldn't know that they had any issues or any fears at all. And then underneath, really contained. Could be anywhere in the body, but the kidneys are a common place for it. For that fear and grief will be really contained there. Or again, lungs are also closely associated to the kidney, so it can also be stuck in there. Also find that for things like long COVID, this stuck fear and grief. So being able to address that in the lungs, being able to address that in the kidneys. And I can help do that for you, just tweak it one-on-one so it's really specific for you. One of the first patients I saw when I opened my practice was this teenager who had chronic urinary tract infections, and she had been to every specialist. The specialists were so tired of her. They were so tired of her mom. They were so tired of her that they sent them to the psychologist and the psychiatrist because they thought that this girl had Munchausen's or Munchausen's by proxy or something, that she was making herself sick. They so did not know why she had all these chronic urinary tract infections. And so when I checked her, it was really interesting because her energy body was like cut off. So everything like was more her energy, her rainbow, that energy field was like more up here. And I find that like when people are really worried and stressed and anxious and like having these mental thought loops going and going, tends to be a bit more ungrounded. So your energy is more up here. But hers was like more extreme state. So, and there were 2 to 3 times it happened where it was so extreme. It's like she didn't get any neurological signals going down or weren't functioning properly. So not only was she getting chronic UTIs, but she started having incontinence, like urinary and fecal incontinence, which is very rare, especially in a teenager. And the neurologist and the specialist, the urologist, gynecologist, psychiatrist, you name it, they had no idea what was going on. But then when I felt her, it was so, to me, it's much more tangible. So it was so obvious. I was like, oh my gosh, well, how could I expect all of these organs below to function well when her energy field is so up here? We need to rebalance that. And we need to go over like, what was she going through in life? And what were those fears and stuck in fear and anxiety? And so in addressing all of that, the mental, emotional, and then with osteopathic treatment, just getting that energy flowing and, we approached from so many different perspectives, but long story short, she stopped having chronic urinary tract infections. Her anxiety really decreased. She became much more grounded and so much more functional in her life. And, thank goodness that we were able to look at it from all those different perspectives. And this is why when I'm talking to you, it's such a call to medicine and for anyone out there to be able to look at your life and look at your symptoms from these multiple perspectives and to see it as less scary, but as a call to you for what you can do to tend to your health. So your body's literally telling you what to do. And for her body, she was ungrounded. She had a lot of fear. So we had to help process all of those things and return all the function and integration of mind, body, and spirit. So the last part is talking about the spiritual aspects of kidney health. And so this is kind of an extension from the mental emotional. We talk about fear and grief. And when we get to the spiritual aspects, so remember the kidneys, when you're not processing fear, then the kidneys tend to hold that. So from the spiritual aspect, it's like love or fear. Those will be the two main basic emotions and feelings, and you can like subdivide everything else under those two, positive or negative feelings. So it's like, how can I look at this through love, feel this through love, hear this through love? It's not about ignoring your fears, because we could come up with many fears. Life can be stressful. The world is really surprising and unexpected, but how can I look at this through love, and how can my life help guide me? How can what I'm going through help guide me so that I can see this more through the eyes of love? And from A Course in Miracles, there's a great quote there. It's like, everything is love or a call for love. So if you start to approach from that perspective, you can see the problems, the issues, they soften a bit. Because if there's an issue, or if there's a problem, or there's something you're afraid of, or somebody else is afraid of, then you can see, oh, it's a call for love. Everything is love or a call for love. It doesn't mean that you're running around everywhere responding to everyone's call for love. You need to respond to your own call for love first, and then you need to respond to other people's calls for love as you feel called to, because you can't do everything one-on-one for everybody. You have to feel called to have that interaction connection. But start with yourself, and ask yourself, is your body calling for more self-love? How can you be kinder to yourself? How can you be kinder to others? How can you be more loving to yourself and others? How can you be kinder and more loving to the earth? So all you have to do is answer those calls. And in a way, I know it sounds miraculous, but that can help your kidney function. That can help the health of your kidneys. And it really all comes down to that. But every layer is important. The spirit is important, but so is the mind, mental, emotional piece, and then the body, because it's a human experience and we need to address all those layers. So we could put it in a hierarchy and say, but the spirit is the life, and it is, but to have a human experience, we need to have health in all the layers, and that will feel the most grounded and the most balanced and the healthiest. So I hope that you got something out of that. And if you have any kind of aha moments, or anything that you would like to know more about, or anything you need more clarity on in terms of the kidneys and in terms of mind, body, spirit for the kidneys, then please let me know in the comments. If you have the question, please ask, because I know other people are wanting to know the same thing, and I would love to help you just go through that and have some more understanding, because the more you understand about yourself, then the more access you have for deeper healing. So lots of love to all of you. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, you can please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and sign up for my e-love letters at allworldshealth.com. They come out once a week on Wednesday with my live stream, my YouTube live stream. So I'll see you next week, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And I believe in you, so I hope you believe in you too.